Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is this. This is the day that the Lord has made. And I'm gonna rejoice and be glad in it. I thank God for a brand new day. Good morning, aka. Today is April the 24th. Y'all know April is almost gone. It just came, stayed for a while, and just on its way out. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I thank God for another day. I thank God for another day. So this morning, I want to talk about fear. I want to talk about fear. Yep, 8 days until May. Good morning, Mildred. I wanted to call you yesterday, but I wasn't in a mood. I just needed I don't know. God just had me secluded yesterday after I left the dentist. I don't know. Wasn't going through anything, but was thinking about a lot of stuff. Wasn't no, I'm gonna stop lying. I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't going through anything, wasn't thinking about a lot of stuff. The pressures of life was not on me. Is like I expected for it to be. I was trying to figure out, I was no longer feeling doubtful. I wasn't feeling fearful. I was sad of the loss of having a car now. And my dad would say, if you don't have a car, honey, you handicapped. And right now I'm going to be handicapped for the next 7, 8 months, or however long God see for me to be handicapped. But in feeling the feeling like losing my independence, no, because wherever I want to go, I believe I'm going to get there. And I do see a new car in my future. um the car that God choose for me to have, but it's something that I have to do. So I'm challenging myself, to save this money. Don't when the thought come when I'm feeling not quite myself and I want to go out and buy something for my face that I don't need, or buy some get on Shein or get on Amazon or get on Temu, and just spend money knowing that this money don't supposed to be touched. So yesterday I went to the dentist, and when I got there, they were talking about pulling two teeth when my understanding was just for one teeth. Um, so he came back and he said, the problem with the other teeth is not really a problem right now. So they pulled one teeth, and I was explaining to him that I have a low tolerance for pain. I'm not paying, but whatever, and I know I'm going to experience some level of pain, so I'm not paying for no anesthesia. I'm not going to do if the insurance not paying for it. I ain't paying for it either. So he said, "Well, you know what?" He said, "Marita, I'm just going to make this as painless as possible." I said, "Okay, do what you got to do." So, he gave me something to numb, the front of my mouth, and feel like, I'm dribbling, and then my lip feel like it's all like this, and my face feel like it's one side high and one side low. And I just, I say, well, Lord, you know what? This is something I got to go through. So, hey, let me put on my big girl drawers and sit here and let them do what they gonna do, because I done came too far to stop now. I felt you would work it out mentally and spiritually. And Mildred, it wasn't a struggle. It was just a made up mind, knowing, okay, this has happened. There's nothing that I could do about it. So it's not even in my control. It's above me now. It's above me. But it's the attitude that I'm gonna have going through this. There's gonna be some good days. There's not gonna be some good days. And I already I've already set myself up for that, so I can't live tomorrow for the day. I'm gonna deal with whatever's gonna go on in today. I'm gonna deal with it today. And if just a little bit of it spill into tomorrow, I'll take care of that and then deal with whatever else gonna happen in tomorrow. But today I'm gonna be focused on today. So that's where I am. And when I went to the dentist, they numb my mouth so good, and he said you're gonna just hear a snap, crackle, and I'm gonna pop it out. So I said okay. So he was in my mouth doing something, and then I heard her say, "Oh, it's over." And I didn't even feel the teeth come out. You know, I don't like the sound. Of the drill. I guess they done changed dentistry so much. The sound don't even you don't even hear the sound anymore. You just go in and they numb you up. That was some good Novocaine that they had numb me up and got that teeth out, put my partial in and gave me the instructions and did the imprint for my bottoms. So I may be sounding funny because I'm trying to learn how to talk with this partial in my mouth, and I'm trying to learn how to eat with this thing in my mouth. And it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that good either. It was just. So, and I thank God for that. And even this morning, I woke up, went to bed, was sleepy yesterday, was trying to stay woke to take these. They gave me some antibiotics because there was an infection. So I'm on them until they're done. I'm gonna be obedient. Got another prescription that I have to go and pick up, today. But you know what? In my spirit, even right now, I got a text this morning, and it was so beautiful. A few minutes ago, not too long ago, and it was just beautiful. Somebody was praying for me, and AKA was praying for me, and it was beautiful. And the amazing thing about it was I was listening to Miles Monroe, and he was saying, start your day off with Psalms 27. That is one of my favorite chapters, book in the book of Psalms. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom should I be afraid? And I was, pitter pattering, making my tea, washing my face, brushing my teeth, putting my eye patches on. And I was listening, and I was listening to it. I haven't read my devotionals yet because I didn't wake up until 6:30. And I woke up early, went back to sleep, and then I woke up at 6:30. So I had to do my morning routine. And what came to mind was fear. And I start listening to that, and I say, Lord, I'm not going to fear anything. And this song keep popping in my head: never alone. You are never alone. And I feel that. And I was thinking, while I was brushing my teeth, I was thinking, after I had read the prayer that Shirley did for me, and I was thinking, I said, Lord, I am blessed. I am truly blessed, and I'm thankful. I am thankful for the people that wake up and start praying for me. I am thankful for the people that come on and encourage me by even coming on. I'm encouraged by that, and I'm blessed for that, and I'm blessed by that. And I said, I'm not going to be fearful. I'm not going to be fearful because God has a plan for me. He said, I know the plans that I have for you. And his plans is not for me to walk in fear. His plans are not for me to walk in doubt. His plans are for me to walk in unbelief. And his plan is not for me to feel alone or abandoned. And I was thinking about that this morning. And, I haven't talked to my daughter because y'all haven't heard me say anything about my daughter. I haven't talked to my daughter. And, my children are wise enough to know when I am going through something, I need that time to unwind and not to try to figure it out, just to let it play out. I have to go through a process. I have to have that a long time. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't need to hear anybody. Well, Ma, it's going to be all right. I already know that, but I got to go through what I got to go through. I got to go through what I got to go through. And this is a big thing for me to go through, because when I talk to my mom, and I understand her part, where she said, I don't want to lose my independence. I don't want to have to depend on anybody to come and take me nowhere, to do this for me, to do that. And see, that was my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear. And I really, in a way, I wanted to go to Bible study because it was a good lesson, but I know they didn't finish. So, when it's next time is for Bible study, who knows, I might be there. It's in the future. So I'm not going to talk about what's going to happen in the future because I don't know. So, because, uh, Lady T had said, well, your things for the tea party has come in. So I said, oh, okay. She said, and I could get them at Bible study. So I said, and that was the reason why I was going to go to Bible study, just to get the things from the tea party. So I called the lady that's helping me. I called my friend, and I asked friend, I said, friend, you going to Bible study? She said, no. I said, okay then. So I would let her know what was going on, and I was telling her what was going on. And she is like she is that person that keep me in line. She's that person that has the nerve to hit me upside my head like this, or hit me in the back of the head like that when I'm getting out of line. And she's that person that can say, now you know better than that. That she's that person that when I'm not in Sunday school, when I'm not in church, she's that person. Where you at, Diva? What's going on? She's that person for me. Yes, he walks beside me every day. He guides my footstep all the way. Never alone. That song just keep playing in my head. And I just say, Lord, I thank you that I don't have to go through this by myself. I never had, now it's just like when you have that relationship with God, things that used to wasn't clear to you, now it's clear. And it's like you're going through something, but your understanding is better now that you know that, okay, now I get it. The first time I went through this, I was saying, Lord, every morning I wake up, Lord, I gotta depend on this person, I got to depend on that person. But it's not like that for me this time. Well, and I said, and what I'm marveling at is the fact that I'm not going, oh Lord, what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna get here, how I'm gonna get there, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm not doing that anymore. And when it say even walking through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear. I would not fear. I would not fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And whatever you keep thinking in your mind, you will manifest. I knew eventually that was an old car. I had it for 5 years. Verena had it for what? Verena had it for Jordan was from fifth grade, elementary, fifth grade to ninth grade. Yep, to ninth grade. So fifth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. She had it for 5 years. And don't know how many other people that had this car. So the car is a good car, was a good car. It was running, so I got whatever services I could out the car, and God just said, okay, it's time for something different. And that's just the way I have to, look at things. And I remember a time that if this had happened a couple of years ago, I would have been so fearful. I would have been so fearful, and I would have been questioning God. I would have lost hope. And I just would be angry, and I just would be angry. But I yesterday had put so many things into perspective for me. I put so many things in perspective. First, patience, because I'm in a waiting period. I'm in a holding period now. Right now, I have challenged myself. See, I have my car car money. And I had, when I get an overflow of pennies and stuff like that, in my wallet, I just throw them in a little change jar. And so I pick out all the pennies and leave the rest of the change in there. And I roll up all the pennies. So I have like I got $2.50 in pennies, and I got the money, some of the money from the car yesterday in here. So that starts off, and I have my money jar. I have my, gosh, okay. I have my money jar, and I have the money jar sitting right in front of me. So I know whenever I get my hands on a couple of dollars, it's going into the money jar, and it's something bubbling in my spirit, y'all, and I can't quite understand it. It's not fear, and it's like this challenge that I'm being challenged right now. I'm being challenged right now. And it's okay. But what's in my spirit is like, okay, we gonna face this. We gonna face this head on, and we gonna face this with the right attitude. We're gonna have joy in our heart. We're gonna have a smile on our face. And whenever you feel like you want to cry, you just go ahead on and cry. Whenever you feel like you want to get in a place of whining and get in a place of hopelessness, we're gonna fight our way out of that. We're gonna denounce that. We're gonna cast that down. We're gonna throw that out there in the deepest part of the ocean. We're not gonna have no negative thoughts. We're not gonna have no stinking thinking. We're not gonna have no hard heart. We're gonna get things in order. We're gonna get rides lined up for wherever it is that I need to go. All of this, was just in my heart. It's in my heart. It's in my spirit. And when a person tell me no, don't start putting down names. When I get back on my feet, this right here gonna happen. This right here gonna happen. And this no ain't taking no names. When the person tell me no, just what Jesus told his disciples. If they don't want to hear the word, just shake the dust off your feet and get up and get to going. So that's the attitude that I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna let fear encamp me. I'm not going to let fear overtake me. I'm not going to let fear run my life. I'm not going to let doubt, when I can't feel God, I'm gonna talk to him, and if I feel like God is ignoring me, I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna keep on talking to God, because I know He hasn't. He said, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you." So He could get quiet. He could get quiet, and it could feel like nothing is going on. But I got enough sense to know when God is quiet, that means God is up to something. God is up to something. And I know God got a surprise for me. I don't know what it is. That's why it's a surprise. So, and sometimes I don't feel, and I don't feel fearful, and I don't feel like a failure. I feel like that's something that God saw with that car that I didn't see, because I was going to ride it till the wheels fall off. That's what I was going to do. But God said, no, that's not going to be. God saw something that I didn't see. God saw something I couldn't see, because He's God. Sit high, look low. He holds the future. He knows the future. So I have to, I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay. So this is just going to be a time for me to refocus. And by refocusing, that means I'm gonna you overcome discouragement when you stop focusing on not having a car. Okay, that's a given. I don't have Ruby anymore. I don't have Ruby. Ruby anymore. So now I got to refocus and take my focus off of not having her and focus on what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? I'm going to petition God. Say, I heard this, he's a pastor now. Um, and he was on what was it? Sunday Best. And I heard him, there's a short, and he said, before you talk to anybody in the morning, before you get up out of bed and you talk to anybody in the morning, talk to God. When you talk to God and you hear the word of God and you read the word of God in the morning, that shapes your mind. That shapes when trouble do come. You and God done already had a talk. You done already put your Bible app to use. You done already turned on song. Put on a songs. Put in something out of Isaiah. Put on something out of Jeremiah. Put in Philippians. Ephesians, put something on to listen to carry you through the day. And then when trouble do arise, when trouble do come, because you got that God covering on you, you just sit there and for a moment, you check yourself for a moment before you wreck yourself. And then you say, I done already, me and God done already had a conversation about this. So you're at, how to deal with, you don't know what's coming. We don't never know what's coming, but then sometimes we do know what's coming. And when God just give us that attitude and give us that peace that surpasses all understanding, when we should be all bent out of shape and stuff like that, and God give us a new way of thinking, God give us a new way of being, and we could just go through it and clutching our pearls and go to the bathroom and say, now Lord, I supposed to have it. But then you realize, look, it ain't me, it's God, it's the God that's in me. And so, and I was like, Lord, I ain't got no car. I got to ask people for a ride. And, so I said, what all I have to do, I'm going to do it. And God going to sit the people in front of me. To even say, Marita, I live right down the street. I can pick you up. I can pick you up. I can bring you home. If you want me to bring you home, I can pick you up. I can bring you home. And and when people doing something like that, you have to give people a little bit of something, because gas, the price of gas, it costs, they could be electric, but you still give people, you help people out because they're helping you out. Because you don't know what a person is going through, because everybody who look good on the outside don't know what kind of war that they're dealing with on the inside. So I don't feel like a failure. I thank God for that, because that I would be thinking, Lord, I can't even keep a car that I ain't even got a payment on. I don't feel like that. That car was used for what it was used for, forever how long God intended for me to use it. That's the mindset that I have. And I'm not gonna speak negative of this situation. I'm going to always speak positive of this situation. I'm not going to put on airs. I'm not going to be phony. I'm not going to be fake. And when I come on here and I'm telling people some of the things that's going on in my life, I didn't mean to be telling people my business, but that's the way God started up. Because if I'm going through this, surely somebody else is going through the same thing. And if they see me ride it out, they can say, well, hell, she riding on it. I'm riding on it too. I'm riding on the principles that she's riding on. I know God got me because God got her, so he got me too. And he do answer prayers. He's answering her prayers. So I know I'm next in line. If I'm not next in line, I know I am about the third, the fourth, or the fifth. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait on God to do what God going to do for me. So I thank God for this challenge. He brought it to me. He must be got a way. He got to have a way out for me. And his will going to be done. And he's going to give me that spirit. He's going not that fretful spirit. He said, I did not give you a spirit of fear. I don't know. You know where that come from. That's not the spirit from me. And as long as I know and keep that in my forehead, this is not a God here. So I'm going to cast that down. I'm gonna cast it down, cast it out, cast it wherever it needs to go. That is where it's going. And because I am in this situation right now, that don't mean um the things that I went through the last time, I'm not gonna go through that again. I'm not gonna go through that because God was showing me for such a time as this. When it happened the first time, God knew that car was going to do what it was going to do, and that I would be in a position of need again. And God needs something from God. Don't need nothing from me. God wants something from me. God wants my undivided attention. God wants more time with me. God wants to have more conversations with me. God wants me to know him more. God wants me to know him more intimate than I know him now. And intimacy with God, I'll come out with better results. I ain't coming out feeling all nasty and empty and might get a disease or something like that. I'm gonna come out with so much wisdom. I'm gonna come out with understanding. I'm gonna come out with so much peace, so much joy, and then happiness. And the happiness that I even have now, it's not predicated on what's happening. Because in somebody else's word, this would be very detrimental to someone else. What I am embarking on now, not working anywhere. Want to work, but the knee won't allow me to stand too long to work. So get an old lady check every month, and you say you're gonna save money out that check to get a car. Yes, I am. And who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me? Nobody can stop that but God. I can't stop it because now it's a need. And I need to show myself that I can sacrifice, that I can sacrifice for the things that I want. And manifestation. I'm a manifest me a car. I'm a manifest the car. God, whatever car it is that you want me to have, that's the car that I'm gonna thank you in advance for. Long as it's blue, long as it's red, it could be white or blue, it could be black, it could be green. Whatever car you out there got for me, I'm thanking God for this car in advance. Every day, all day, I'm thanking God for my new car. I am thanking God for my new car. If he see fit, he gonna make a way. And I'm thanking him for my new used one owner, pay here, no payment car. I'm thanking God for that. I refuse to live in fear. I refuse to see myself as a failure. I refuse to be whining and not having to understand it that, rainy days happen. Rainy days happen. But after the rain, there's always a rainbow, and then the sunshine comes out. So I am waiting patiently. Did you hear me say patiently? I am waiting patiently for God to do what only God can do. And I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna be deterred. That's why I'm not trying to live today, tomorrow, and then Friday, and then here come the weekend. I ain't trying to live all them days ahead. I'm gonna go through this day. Thank you for my daily bread. I'm going through this day. And I'm not alone when I walk through the valley. I'm not walking through the valley of uncertainty. I'm not uncertain. I'm not unsure. I know that I have assuredness that God is going to lead me in the right direction. As long as I continue to walk with him, to talk with him, to be somewhat obedient, be obedient as possible, strive to be obedient. I walk humbly, patiently, with the right attitude, and speaking words of hope, not condemnation, speaking life over myself, walking in joy, walking in peace. So that's where I am this morning. I refuse to let fear take over. I'm just having, I'm not a failure. I just haven't succeeded yet. I'm not a failure. I'm refocusing. I'm not focusing on what I lost. I'm not going to be discouraged. Yeah, it's times that I want to go somewhere that I may be stuck here, but you know what? I can always walk downstairs, walk and see how God had that. The way God, I'm gonna tell you, the way God is. See, God see things. God know what's going to transpire next year, next month, next week, tomorrow. I don't. But what God was so good where I live. I'm in walking distance, but you know I ain't gonna do too much walking, right? I got a Winn Dixie that way. I got a Walgreens, CVS, Dollar Store, Dollar Tree, a Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts, a McDonald's, all kind of little pizza places in this little area and stuff like that. You know, it did. You know what? There's a bus stop right here behind the apartment on this street. There's a bus stop there, and the big bus terminal is right across the street. So when I feel like I want to just get out and I just want to do something, I ain't too proud, baby. I rode the bus for 3 straight years going to work, waking up 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus at 5:30 in the morning to get to work at 7. Caught two buses for 3 years going to work, going backwards and forth to work, going backwards and forth to work for 3 years. So this is nothing new to me. But I just got, I got so settled, and there was I'm not going to say a arrogance about me, but I got settled, and I was just grateful I had a car. And even some days I didn't even get up and go outside. I didn't get in the car, but to go to church, to go to the third of the month, go to Walmart, Publix, you know, to buy grocery, to get my money order for my rent. So I didn't do a lot of moving around. So the moving around I want to do now, I could go on to buy me an all day pass or get me a 30-day senior pass and go wherever I want to go. Get on the bus and just ride. And, the only difference is I got to wait. I have to wait. I didn't have to wait just getting in my car and going where I wanted to go. So, I can't go back to that. I'm committed to what I can control. I'm committed to that. When my thoughts want to get out of order, I'm committed to reeling that on back in. No, 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 no. That's not what we're going. That's not what I'm going to do. And my expectations, I let go of all expectations because I think we're friends. That don't mean you think we're friends. That don't mean I can pick up the phone and say, um can you take me to Walmart? Can you do this? Can you do that? My expectations of people are very low now. I don't expect no one to do anything for me. Like I said, I'm shifting my focus. My focus is not on what I don't have. It's what I have and what's to come. It's what I have and what's to come. I'm choosing my words wisely. Oh Lord, I just can't. When my kids were small, I used to hit them in the mouth every time they say about what they can't do. Don't stand in front of me and tell me what you can't do when I know you can do it. You haven't tried to do it yet. So I'm choosing the words that I say wisely, especially when I'm speaking to myself. And yeah, me and self, we talk. Sometimes self have to call me out and I have to say self say, huh? I have to say, self, what you doing? Self, you say, girl, I'm all confused. I'm all confused right now. So I talk to self. And I'm choosing the right words to say when I'm speaking to me. I speak life. There's power in the tongue. Life and death is in the tongue. Wars are started. Rumors are started. The tongue is a powerful thing. The tongue is a very powerful thing. So I am choosing my words wisely. I'm choosing my words wisely. Mimi, I believe, Marita, you have done so much for us and others that God is taking this time to allow you to be blessed now. This is the time to let the blessings flow. And you know, however they come, however God choose to bless me, and you know, I believe my cup is going to run over, that I'm going to have so many blessings, I'm not going to have room enough to receive. And right now I'm in a testing pattern. I'm being challenged right now. So it's, am I going to stand up? Because I'm a soldier. And I'm always telling people I'm more than a conqueror. I'm a warrior in the name of Jesus. I'm in the army of the Lord. So God don't want no weak soldiers. I done said that. So God can't put me out there on the battlefield and I'm scared to fight. You know, David wasn't, when David went, everybody was scared to fight Goliath because he was a giant. They seen him was too big. But David said, I fight him. I find it. David went out there, little old David and big old Goliath, and we know that story. We knew that story as a child. We know that story. So I have to stand up in the face of adversity and keep it moving. And I have to have the right spirit, the right attitude, the right mind. And I cannot be associated with people that only speak, well, you know, these things. No, these things don't have, yeah, they happen, but well, I don't want no EO. Oh, well, you know that little donkey on what is the little boy name on Winnie the Pooh? How that donkey always never found nothing good in a situation. There's some good that's going to come out this situation because I'm going to get closer to God. I'm going to get a better understanding of who God really is and what God really can do. God going to show me some things, and I'm going to believe that. I'm going to believe that. And when I get into a sunken place, I'm gonna fight my way out. I don't want to even allow myself to get in a sunken place. I don't want fear to seep in. I'm not gonna give fear just a little bit of daylight. Fear is part of that principalities, dark places. That's what fear is. And when I was going to meetings, AA meetings and CA meetings, it was saying if you entertain a thought for more than 3 seconds, 3 minutes is too long. If you entertain a thought for more than 3 seconds, you're going to give in to what you were thinking about. So what I'm going to think about, I'm going to think about abundance. I'm going to think about my new car. I'm gonna think about my new car. That's what I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna think about the goodness of the Lord. That's what I'm gonna be thinking about, and how I'm gonna deal with this in my mouth. That's what I'm gonna be thinking about and manifesting, and casting. And every time I think about it, I'm gonna have a good attitude going through this. And on the days that I, feel like I don't want to have a good attitude, I'm gonna ask God to forgive me and fill me up with your graciousness. And just have mercy on me as I walk through this. And I'm reframing my thoughts. And you know what? I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, y'all, that I don't have my car. I'm disappointed. But disappointments doesn't have to be negative because emotions themselves are neither negative or positive nor positive. They are the results of the way we frame a situation. And that's what disappointment is. The way I see it, I can see it as a negative or I can see it as a positive. And I see it both ways. Negative because I don't have the car. A positive is because start fixing on one thing, something else gonna tear up, and then could get in an accident. So all sorts of things. I was saved from all sorts of things. God saw it, so God rectified the situation. Okay, babe, this is not gonna be working for you too much more longer, and it didn't, and it didn't. And it took me by surprise, I must say. However, it didn't, I'm still here. I am still here. You have the right attitude and the right people behind you praying and supporting you. And I thank you for that. AKA when I read, when, I get morning texts, from people. Sometimes the lady who I say hold me accountable for a lot of stuff, she texts me in the morning, and every morning she texts me. And then this young lady, she was texting me about letting me know she gave some of the tea party stuff, that she had some things that she had we could use for the tea party. She was letting me know that she had gave them to my friend, and so that was that. And then I looked and I said, who texted me this time of morning other than them two? So, and I saw that and I started reading it. And then it was just like confirmation. It was just like, cause I was saying, well, I'm going to talk about fear today. I'm going to talk about fear. About fearfulness. And I went to the bathroom to wash my face, to brush my teeth. And I said, and I had already read that. And I started smiling. And I said, Lord, I'm so thankful. I said, I am so truly thankful for the encouragement, for the encouraging word, and just to know that I'm being thought about. I'm not going through this by myself. I'm not alone in going through that. As soon as I said I'm not alone, that song just popped in my head. Never alone. So, AKA, you don't know what you have done for me this morning. You don't know just how my soul is just so excited. Even though the car is gone, there's still, I'm excited about what's to come. I don't know what's to come, but I'm just so excited. It's like a leaping and a jumping in my spirit about something. And I don't exactly know what it is, but you know what? I ain't gonna try to figure it out. I'm just gonna let it do what it do. I'm just gonna let it do what it do. And my friend took me to the dentist yesterday, and um took me to Walmart. And when we were walking, we were in the parking lot after we leaving out of Walmart, this car, this Jeep had this tire on the back. And he said, there go your sand right on the back of that car. And it said, it is what it is. The thing said, it is what it is. And I started laughing. I said, it is what it is what it is. I came home, made me some chicken and yellow rice, had some corn, and had to go ahead on and cook the chicken. Wasn't cooking for no particular reason, because really wasn't in the mood to eat or anything like that. Wasn't whining, wasn't depressed, but just was in a blah kind of mood, because got my teeth pulled, got this thing in my mouth. Then I put this in my mouth right after they pulled the teeth and everything. So I'm not sure I know how to chew right. I don't want to break nothing, but I'm pretty sure it costs a lot of money for this what's already in my mouth. So it can't be that breakable, not this soon. So, and I ate something and I got tired, and I know when weariness come over me, it's like a breeze, and it comes over me. That means it's time for me to put my mind at ease. And that's what God was doing. He put my mind at ease. And that songs just kept popping up. I find no fault in him. And that song we sung, I find no fault in God. He's wonderful. I find no fault in him. And I can't fault God for none of this. I can't fault God for none of this. And you're never alone. Even when I feel alone, I am never alone. I'm never alone. And then I said, Lord, I have people. All I know is these people name, or the names that they go by. Talk with some of them on the phone. Some of them probably will never meet in person, but nevertheless, these people are encouraging me while they think I'm encouraging them, they are encouraging me, and they be concerned about me as much as I'm a concern about them. So I can't wallow in what I don't have. I can't wallow in what's already happened. I cannot wallow in that. But I remember a time I wouldn't get out of bed. I would be in bed right now with the cover all over me. When I got up to wash my face, to brush my teeth, when I took a bath, when I did nothing. But that wasn't gonna do nothing but have me having bad breath, bad gum disease, stank, house looking a mess. Don't want to talk to nobody. Don't want to hear what nobody got to say. And I thank you for that, AKA. Well, I'm researching different companies that can help you know, help. You know I'm a nerd. Girl, for I thank you. I thank and I get on here and y'all know I cry, I laugh, I do whatever I feel. I'm not ashamed of anything. Ain't nothing for me to be ashamed of. I done lived a life that should be shame about, but I'm not ashamed of the life that I have lived. And I'm not ashamed of what God is doing. And I'm not ashamed to say I lost. I lost, but I'm going to gain more than I ever lost. And that's why, I'm refocusing, reframing, and I'm shifting, and I'm being committed. I'm being committed. I am being committed. And sometimes with failure, it is not. And if anybody out there is feeling, for the people that's watching, for the ones that's in the chat, and for anybody who just come across this and you feel like you're a failure, stop it right now. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read this to you. Failure. Sometimes your best plans fall apart. No one shows up at an event as no man. Just when I think I can make ends meet, something moves the ends. Just when you think you got enough, something to come up. When you think when you plan big things and nobody don't show up for the dinner party, nobody don't show up for you at the big announcement, nobody don't show up, and you consider yourself a failure. Stop it. Don't do that to yourself. Don't talk down on yourself. Speak words of life. Speak words of encouragement. The words that you give other people, speak them words to you. And that's what God so often reminds me. That's what God reminds me to do. You speak words of encouragement to other people, encourage yourself. And there's a song said, sometimes you're going to have to encourage yourself. And sometimes you're not. But those times that you do have to encourage yourself, speak life, speak positivity, speak things not as they are, but as you hope them to be. Even if you don't see it, even if you're feeling fearful, still speak life, still keep moving in the right direction. And if you're at a four-way stop and you don't know which way to go, and God said, I want you to keep walking the same way, just keep walking the same way. Just don't let nothing distract you. And I know, because I know me, and I know there's going to be distractions. Whenever, get my hands on a little money, and I said, well, I can go, because I got a Ulta right across from the gym, right in the same parking lot, a Ulta, a Burlington's. What's the name of this other store? TJ, what is it? Bath Body and all of them kind of stores. It right there in that plaza. Well, I could buy this. I could go in Burlington, and then after a while, the money jar gonna be empty. But see, if I look at this money jar, it says car. It says car. So what's more important? You got that. You got shoes in that closet. You got enough You got some eyelashes, girl. Cause you, one of my subscribers sent me some eyelashes. Plus, I have every time I go to the hair store, I'm buying 3 and 4 packs of eyelashes. Might wear them 1 or 2 times and put them in there. I got shoes. I got clothes. I got perfume. I got body butter. I got body from Canvas. I got all kind of stuff from Stormy. That was sent to me. You know. So what else, girl? What else? What's more important? Those not things that you need. Those are things that you want. And just because you got that money, that little bit of money in that jar, you better and you pray over this jar, say, Lord, increase my territory, increase my finances. Lord, this is my car money, the car that you bring it to me, Lord. I got to have the money for that car. And I can't have the money for the car if I'm going to Ulta, if I'm going to Target, if I'm shopping on Amazon. It ain't that damn much of money. Cause see, I spend, I be saying the millionaires don't know what to spend their money for, and they be looking the way they be looking. Let me show them. I spin it up for them in the right way. So now God has challenged me, and I pray that what I'm going, this test that I am going through now, I pray that I walk through it not by myself, because I know I'm not by myself, that I walk through it with my head up, and yeah, the tears may come sometime, but the tears that's going to be released at the end are going to be tears of joy, tears of thanksgiving. And it's going to happen at the time that it's supposed to happen. And that's when it's going to happen. But I know, I know that my attitude is going to determine my latitude. And I know when this is over, when this is over, I am going to have such a clear perspective on 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 a lot of things. And every day is going to be a lesson. Every day is going to be a lesson. So I'm going to start writing, even when I don't feel like writing. I'm going to start writing. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to be um, frustrated about it. I'm not going to be all bent up out of shape about it. Because why? I'm not going to tie myself up like a pretzel about it. Why? Because I have no control over it. I can really rest my mind at ease now. I don't have to look at the gas prices anymore. I don't have to worry about when my car get on a quarter tank of gas and I ain't got no money to get no gas. I ain't got to worry about that no more. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And there were some issues with Ruby. And God didn't want me to be uncomfortable. He didn't want me to be uncomfortable. So instead of me continuing driving that car, God said, you know what, baby, it's time to let it go. I got something better, but I can't get to you this is removed. Until this is removed, and I would have tried everything I could to keep that car going, because was trying to figure out where I'm gonna get that type of money from. And when I realized I don't know nobody who just gonna give me $5,000, $7,000 to put a new engine in a 2004 car. And so I just gave up the ghost. I just gave up the ghost, and I refuse to be discouraged. I refuse to be afraid. Um, I'm going to keep the hope. And in Nehemiah 4, it's like I'm going to have to start reading this again every day. It's just a daily reminder. Make peace with where you are now. Life will improve. Give yourself grace and compassion while the transformation take place. So going through this, I'm gonna make peace with where I am now. And I'm gonna believe that life is gonna improve. Life is gonna get better. I'm gonna give myself grace. I'm gonna be compassionate to myself while God is transforming this situation, and He's transforming, and while transformation is taking place in my life. There's gonna be some changes made in my with me. And there are gonna be changes for where I think I'm already good at, God gonna make me better. So that's how, I'm going to walk through this situation. I'm going to get through this situation. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it with the right frame of mind. I'm going to get through it with the right attitude. Um, you know, I'm, and, even right now, sitting here, I'm going to go to, I'm going to write down some scriptures and what those scriptures are for. In the time of need, in the time of hurt, in the time of desperation, in the time of fear, in the time of troubles, in dealing with bad attitudes, having a bad attitude. And I'm going to have, ask someone to type these scriptures up, and I'm going to cut them up, and I'm going to fold them up, and I'm going to put them in a jar. And I'm going to have like words of encouragement. And I'm going to put it in a fold of paper up and put it in a jar. And every morning I wake up, I'm going in that jar and pull out a word of encouragement that's going to take me all through the day. So God will give you what you need when you need it. You are supposed to feel emotion that you're going through. And I am um and I am when I feel overwhelmed sometimes, I'm gonna be still. I'm gonna be still, and I'm gonna take God for His words. I'm gonna take God for His word that He has a plan, and only He can work that plan. So who am I to stand in the way of God? Who am I to stand in God's way with what He gonna do for me? So I'm gonna let God do what He gonna do. And and so if anybody this morning or who's listening, and first of all, excuse me and forgive me because I did not acknowledge. I acknowledge everybody, and I thank everybody for being here. Please hit the like and share button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Or just hit the like and share button and put it out there in the atmosphere for me. So maybe I could be on get up a little bit a nudge higher in the algorithm. So I am learning, and I have learned to be content in whatever stage that I am in. I am learning, and I have learned. So I am going to be content walking through this. I'm going to walk into this like every time I go outside, I'm going to walk outside expecting to see my car. Not to see Ruby, but to see the car that the Lord God had already picked out the car for me. God already know what kind of car I want. I want a small economy car. Just, just a four-door, red, white, or black. The car for me is there. The car for me is already, God already got it for me. But there's something that I gotta do. I gotta not I gotta do it for myself. But doing it for myself. And I feel like when you say I'm gonna show God that I can do this, no, I'm gonna show myself that I can do this because God already know if I can do this or not. I just don't know if I can do it or not. So I am going to encourage myself. I'm going to speak words of positivity over myself. I am going to, you said, work faith without works is dead. So the faith that I'm depending on, I got to work it. And by working that faith, that means that sometimes I'm going to have to be still. I'm going to have to be quiet. I'm going to have to bite my tongue. I'm gonna have to readjust my attitude. And sometimes when that stinking thinking wanna come, and most time when the stinking thinking come, I'm gonna have to cast it out. And if I have to say it out a lot, say it out loud. This is not a God. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that, and I refuse to be that way. There's going to be some readjusting, some refocusing, some refreshing, revival and releasing. I release the fear. I release the fear of walking through a valley. I'm not deep in the valley by my way down in the valley. The valley's so low. I'm not there by myself. There's a lily in the valley, and it's brighter than the morning star. There's peace in the valley. There's hope in the valley. There's love in the valley. So I ain't walking through this by myself. I am not walking through this by myself because daily, every day God wake me up daily. He's going to supply everything I need just for this day because tomorrow ain't promised to me. The rest of the day ain't promised to me. So whatever I need at this moment, God got it. And he's going to provide for me. If he provides for the birds, the bees, surely he will provide for me. Surely he will provide for me. And I know all the time I can't get everything I want, but I guarantee you God gonna give me everything I need. Everything I need, God is gonna give it to me. And I ask God to just allow me to reach my goal. But I got a feeling not only am I going to reach my goal, but there's going to be an overflow. There's going to be an overflow. You know why? Because I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to be mindful of the things that I say. I'm going to be mindful of the things that I do. I'm going to let my yes be yes, and I'm going to let my no be no. I'm going to have the courage to walk through this. Even when things start looking away, I'm not going to believe just because it's that way in the natural. I'm gonna look at it in the spiritual. I'm gonna look at it in the spiritual. So by looking at it in the spiritual, I'm looking at it through the lens of God. I'm looking at it the way that God would have me to look at it. God don't want me to be fearful. He don't want me to be worried. He don't want me to be doubtful. He don't want none of that for me, because if I'm being doubtful, then you can't believe in God and be doubtful that God can do what he said that he can do, and that he would do what he said he would do. So I can't be doubtful. I can't be doubtful, because then I'm not believing in God and I'm not trusting in God. So I'm not believing that God can do what he say that he can do. That's the trust and the faith to believe that God gonna bring me through this. Now, see, when even when if I had to just just sometimes we take ourselves through things unnecessarily and call on God and God walk us through it. But I believe when things come to you out of and you ain't had nothing to do with it, that's God. God getting ready to elevate you, but he got to you got to go through something first. You got to go through a little something to see if you're able to handle what God um is going to prepare you for. So you got to be ready so you don't have to get ready to receive what God has for you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in my how you say preparation stage. I'm preparing. I'm preparing. I'm preparing for whatever God got for me. I'm going to be prepared for it. I am going to be prepared for it. Being prepared. How am I going to be prepared? I just said it. I'm going to walk with the right attitude. I'm going to speak life over myself. I'm going to speak words of encouragement, not only on myself. If anybody, Miss Rita, I need prayer this morning. Pray for me. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray them through. I'm going to pray me through because I'm not going to cease being who I am because of a major setback. And I already done told you, a setback ain't nothing but a setup for a step up. I'm on my way to higher ground. I'm on my way to higher ground. I'm going to be grazing in greener pastures. That's the way I'm looking. That's the way I'm feeling. I'm going to be like them eagles that fly above the clouds. That, when the drummer come and they want to get away from all that drama on the ground, they fly above the clouds. They don't even be out there just flapping their wings. They glide. They fly to a certain altitude and they just start glide. They just start gliding. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna be gliding just like the eagles. I'm gonna be gliding just like the eagles. And I'm gonna continue to be a soldier, a bold soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm gonna take it one day at a time. And when I feel like one day is too long, I'm gonna take an hour, hourly. And if 60 minutes is too long, I'm going to take it about a minute. And if that's too long, I'll take it about a second. But I'm going to get through it. However, I am going to get through it with God by nothing on my own strength because I'm not that strong. By God's grace and his mercy, God going to see me through. God going to see me through. So y'all pray my strength. Y'all pray for me and I'm going to pray for you. And I pray that you continue being and just to encourage me, but just by being here with your words of encouragement, your prayers, and I know that you're real and I know that you're sincere and I know that you're not just saying something to make me feel good because I don't want them type of people in my life. People in my life just gonna say stuff that they think that's gonna make me feel good just for that moment. I need wise counsel. I need wise counsel. I need to be reminded. You know who you are. You know whose you are. You know who you belong to. Now you know better. And now get over it and get over it. Get over it and stop that. Be of good courage. Be of good courage. Because what's happening Don't just because it's happening now, don't mean this is the way it's gonna always be. If you believe that God is who He say He is, and if you believe God can do what He said He can do, then why worry about it? If you're gonna pray about it, don't worry about it. If you're gonna worry about it, don't pray about it. Just worry your little self to death. Just worry your little self to death. Worry yourself so much till your edges start falling out. You got a bald spot in the back. You got a bald spot in the front. Your nails, you done chewed them up till you ain't even got a nail. Till they done went had past your nail bed because you done built them up so much. Your face looking all dry and ashy. You looking a mess. Don't you know when you worry, that affects every part of your body? Every part of your body it affects. And it especially affects your mind. When you are so worried, you can't even see that, you can't see the truth, you can't see the forest for that one thing that you're worried about. You can't even see the, we never know what the outcome is going to be. We can hope and we can pray. But it's God, however, it's God that um depending on what the outcome depends on what the outcome is. But when you worrying about it, and every time people see you, always got your face all frowned up and you, good morning, and all you can say morning, and then that make, after a couple of days, a couple of weeks, that make people don't even, well, when they pass by you, say hello, good morning, and keep moving. Don't have a conversation with you. You at work, and them people at work, you say good morning to them, and they go morning. But then the people you say good morning to, you stand there and you have a little conversation. Well, girl, how you doing? Girl, I like that dress. Girl, I love your hair. Where you get them shoes from? Girl, what's the name of that perfume you got on? Girl, did you see Henry out? Girl, you have a conversation with it. So everything is determined by God. But how you go through it, don't be discouraged. Let not your heart be troubled, neither be afraid. And fret not yourself. If you can do something about it, do it. Do it. And if you can't do nothing about it, leave it alone. Don't worry about it. Just sit it there over the shelf. And soon and very soon, by and by, God gonna give you the answer. That's it. And go take that problem off that shelf and solve that problem. But until you could do that, just give God the mercy. Give God the praise. Praise your way through. You know what, y'all? I'm praising God for my new car. I'm thanking God in advance for my new car. I'm thanking God for my new car. I ain't got the money yet, but it's on the way. I'm thanking God for that car. And it's gonna be what I need. And it's gonna be what I want. It's gonna be what I need, and it's gonna be what I want, and it's gonna be in God's timing. So be still just for the day. Just for the day. Be still. Be of good courage and be still. Again, I say, be still and wait on the Lord. That's my word from me to you today. Not walking in fear, walking in abundance. Walking in abundance, speaking life into myself, encouraging myself, uplifting myself. So, AKA Mimi, Mildred, if you're still here, Shanice, Sean, everybody that's out there listening, I thank you for being here this morning. And AKA, I thank you for the prayers. You say the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And the prayers, I don't ask everybody to pray for me because I don't know what they praying, but God do. And I know God ain't gonna let nothing come to me that is not meant for me. So what God has for me is for me. And I know without a doubt that he's gonna bring me out. What God has for me, it is for me. So in the meantime and in between time, if you ever see me in the street anywhere, holler at me. I'll holler back. And if I see you before you see me, I'll holler. And then you holler back at me. Y'all have the best day ever and smile because you're beautiful, because AKA said so. I'm out of here. Peace, love, and deuces. I'll holler. Bye. I'm out.